Welcome to a short and maybe messy bonus episode of
Where I can tap my knee.
Oh, Jonathan. Woo.
Woo.
Woo,
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. Again, we don't have I think if we want to say our names we can, but we don't have to. Because if you know who we are. So why don't we get into episode 11 of My Stand-In, and we're in the final stretch of this show.
Yes, it's the
and boy, did
fated
this
episode
episode
11.
stretch us.
Oh, it did not stretch us. Excuse you.
I am stretched. Okay, like
Oh
my
my.
gosh, there was a lot that happened.
Stretched like that bank account.
Yes. So per usual, My Stand-In is available to stream on iQiyi on Fridays. This is episode 11. There's one more episode left after this. Again, warning, many spoilers in this
Spoiler
one.
galore.
Spoilers all over the place. So let's get into it. I like how we started off with Ming's assistant, whose name I forgot. That's the only name I don't remember.
Oh my god, yup. His name is Assistant. Yup.
Okay.
I don't know. His name's Jim.
Jim. There we go. And he is talking to Ming's brother Mike, and there's apparently a promise Mike made to Ming, which we find out what that is later, but we're not gonna say it right now. Okay,
We're not gonna say it right now.
yes, I thought that was very interesting, and I'm sitting there like, what is this promise? Okay,
I wish we had more of this like backstory with the family. I need to see the siblings kind of interact with each other more.
Yeah, because
Mike kind of like was like a background character a couple episodes ago, and
right,
we didn't get much from him.
Yeah, we didn't get too much, and we knew he was there, but he wasn't like there,
Yeah, he wasn't like in the family drama, but
right. But I guess he is, as we will see. And then they cut to Joe's mom's birthday, which was
real
so cute. So
I was like,
cute.
no. At first, I was like, oh, it's just them two, and then it like pans out, and Son is there.
Yes,
Of
and
course,
they have this nice little conversation after celebrating the mom's birthday, and Son goes like, I knew,
I know you still down bad for me. I know it.
right, and we kind of all knew this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe.
And he
Joe
also
didn't
admits
know.
that he still has feelings for Joe. He's like, I get it. You're still hung up on me. I'm still hung up on you. And like,
Yeah.
feelings are feelings.
Right. And I love that they had an honest conversation, and I think that's good. But also,
yeah, glad there's no crazy jealousy this time around.
We don't need any more of that. There's already too much mess.
There's
going
not
on
enough
to
time.
begin with.
Yeah,
there's too much mess. Okay, we don't need more mess. Speaking of mess. So this is when we find out Ming has been MIA for a week, a whole week, and then right when Son leaves, Joe gets this call or text.
He got a
Ming.
text. Just like, meet me at your house.
And of course, Joe gets up running. I swear he ran across Bangkok. Okay,
I swear he'd do anything for this man. I can't.
I
Literally
don't
a
even
week
think
ago,
he got
was
in the
like,
car. I think
"Let
he's
me
like, I got
breathe."
2 good legs and 2 good feet. Let me just run.
He ran to that little like metal loft. It's a beautiful
Right.
house.
And then he gets in there and we see Mike. And Mike...
I'm surprised Mike isn't like, this ain't your house. I don't know.
Right.
This is old Joe's house.
Right.
But anyway.
And Mike goes like, he spills the tea. There's a lot of tea to spill. So this is when we find out Ming is being grounded by his dad.
How you grounded?
Right. That was the first thing
At
that
your
came
grown
up to me.
age.
It's like,
I guess if you're still living at home, first of all, why are you living at home? You're such a like billionaire. Your whole family's so rich.
and
Tong
then he's
obviously
not really
lives in a
living at
new
home
house.
because he has his own condo.
Oh,
And
he
he's at Joe's
does.
place.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, who's keeping you in this house?
Yeah, so there were
Or
a
is it
lot of
just like
things going on that didn't make sense to me. And I'm like, what is happening?
It's just a parent-child, like, you're ground, stay in your room. I'm mad at you, kind of thing. Like, we're gonna
right,
fight
your childhood room. That's pretty much
Yeah.
where he was staying. And I think that was interesting to me because yeah, everything we just said. It was just very strange. And then
But so Joe is no, Ming has been kind of grounded in that house, and he's fighting with the dad. They're
right,
both like, trying to wait for the other one to kind of give in. So Ming is like, you know what? I'm not even gonna eat. I'm not even gonna do anything. I'm not gonna drink. I'm gonna stay in
right,
this room, and we're gonna wait it out. And we're gonna see who's the pettier person. Who's the
right. And then I guess Mike gives Joe this underhanded threat saying that like y'all need to break up, even though I guess later on we realized it really wasn't an underhanded
I mean,
threat.
he was letting
It
him
felt
know, like,
like it.
hey, it's not gonna. Yeah, if you don't break up with him, like, you're gonna just Ming is gonna go through hell,
Right.
and it's
Right.
gonna happen regardless, either way. Kinda.
Right. And I think the part that had me scream, because I had a few screams in this episode.
Oh, I was screaming too.
Yeah, so maybe you screamed at this part as well. Was when Joe gets back home, Auntie Null is there and like, oh my gosh, some person came by, dropped off some stuff for your mom, and then we
Mm-hmm.
see Mama is pissed.
She at that
Like I've
table, like,
never seen her mad before, but she was
literally,
mad
she's such a
today.
kind lady. She was
Right.
gagged.
She was gagged,
She was
and
disgusted. I mean, I would too. If you read your son, you read this contract saying that your son has been, you know,
pretty
as,
much hoeing
as
for coin. Pretty much.
literally hoeing for coin.
Right.
He is a paid escort to
Right.
this man that you just met. So nice. Got you a new, like, medical facility for your
Mm-hmm.
infusions, like everything. Like, that's crazy. She's
And
like, I'm disgusted.
and I don't blame her because low key I kind of would be too. Like you ain't even tell me all of this shit, and it's taking care of my health and my
Yeah,
house.
she's like,
I
I
wouldn't
don't
even
need
want to
this
stay
house.
here.
Like,
Right.
this is dirty money. This is, I
Right.
don't
It
know.
just yeah. And I low key teared up because we know why Joe did it because he felt as if he
He
didn't
did
have any other choice.
He really kind of didn't at the time. Yeah.
Right. And she was just the upset that she had was like more of just extremely disappointed. Like she would have preferred he did it a different way.
Of course,
And
every parent
and
doesn't want
yeah,
their child to have to do all that for them.
but he did try to do it a different way, and he kind of this is where he ended up.
It's just
Um,
life is life, and
life just does that. But then I'm sitting there like, who the hell was that low down and dirty to send
right?
a
Who
lawyer?
messy to be doing that shit?
Who did
and
that?
Mike is like, it wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me.
And I'm thinking,
Joe's like,
okay,
how
it's
do I
probably
trust
Ming's
you?
dad or Tong because they're the only two
Yeah,
that dirty.
I honestly thought it was Tong. I was like, it has
Yeah.
to be Tong.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then then Mike, gives like a little okay to apologize for the mess. You can go ahead and say Ming.
Right, let me
and,
just sneak you in. Which is
and
like,
I-
oh, is that easy? All right.
And let's have a little side conversation. This house, even though
It's
I
the
know we've
same
seen this
house
house
from
before.
a couple shows. Yeah.
Yes.
It was in Big Dragon. It was in
Love in the Air.
Love in the Air. Yeah, it's
Um,
gorgeous house. It was in the Tuxedo.
Right.
It was in a bunch of stuff. It's a beautiful house.
It's a
Beautiful
beautiful
estate.
house. I'm gonna need them to stop using this house though, because now it's gotten to a point where, for me,
It's too recognizable.
it's
but
too
it's
recognizable.
the rich house.
right, it's
the
the
billionaire
rich
house.
house. Right. So now like, if you see that house, oh, this family's supposed to be the rich family.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single time.
Because if you see that house, the other house with the stairs, then you know that's just a normal. Even though that's still a beautiful fancy house,
Right.
That's still like middle class. Like, oh, we're comfortable.
Yeah.
We're comfortable.
So anyway,
Anyway.
Mike takes Joe to Ming's room.
And Ming looks like she on her deathbed.
Child, I have never. Ming
Chapped
is already
lips.
pale. How you more pale? Okay. How your lips dry with no color?
Ooh,
Like,
I guess he wasn't drinking or eating at all for a week, which I don't know. Part of me is like, what? Can I hold off that long to win an argument, to win a fight with my dad, to win a fight with anyone?
I
Can I be that
guess
petty?
Ming and his dad, they're extra stubborn people. Like,
Yeah.
they're steadfast and like, look, this is what I'm gonna do, and you
I
gonna
mean,
try
this
me.
Dad,
Yeah.
This dad did not give a fuck. This dad is like, I'm paid here to not give a fuck.
Right. And
I
that's what we
need
find
that.
out what this promise is. The promise is Mike will help Ming get with the old Joe. But of course, Mike is like, this is not the old Joe. This is a new Joe.
Yeah, he's like, if Joe is out there alive, I promise that I will help you guys stay
But
get
it's like,
together.
dude is dead.
And dude is
So,
dead, and this dude don't look like Joe from the front.
right,
This ain't Poom from the front. This Wimp.
right, right. And then,
And then the
surprise,
dad's like,
dad comes
"Hey," I was
in.
like, "Damn, no one heard them coming in." The
Right,
assistant
he
downstairs wasn't
literally
like,
came
"Watch
in like,
out."
why are you so damn quiet? He came in and then
Yeah,
started throwing bows. I'm like, what
I
happened
that would look
to?
so awkward. Like, I could see that happening though. Like the dad just like, ah,
I'm like, what happened to? Hello, how are
what
you?
happened to get out my house?
Get out my house. Like something. He even say anything. He went straight for the jugular, baby. Like he came in throwing bows.
He was
And
just like, "How'd
then,
you get in here?" Throws hands,
right. And then
and then
Ming
Ming vomits.
vomits. And I'm like,
I was like, "Ooh, this some realistic vomit too." I was like, "This is nasty." He looked like he was
it's,
going through it.
yeah, but I'm like, how are you vomiting when you don't even have food in your stomach? What you
It's
vomited out?
just stomach acid. I don't know.
Bile? Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
so I'm like, you
just
got,
whatever is leaving you running.
right. And then, but,
Go to the
but,
hospital.
then we get to the hospital. Now, Jonathan, didn't I tell you? Didn't I say this? That
The scheme within a
it's
scheme
a
within a scheme.
scheme. I knew Ming was scheming. I
I was
knew
like,
he had
oh,
a
so you
scheme, and I
no, but what
told
was the
you.
scheme? What was the scheme? Was the scheme to wait that long to vomit to get them into the hospital, or was it
Yes,
like fake
and that
not
was part of
eating?
the scheme. That's not even the whole scheme.
But so was he actually eating, or was it like fake?
No,
Like
he was
no,
not
that
eating.
I
So
just have to get worse to get me to the hospital,
he was
and then
literally on a
dad's
hunger
gonna give in.
strike, but
I
he
see.
vomited because he knew they would that would take him to the hospital, and then
That
he
that
would
would
be able
stop the
to come
brawl.
clean. And
I
that's
see. I see.
when his dad might soften a little bit, but you could tell the mama softened by that point,
Oh, the mama cracked instantly. She was like, "All right, Joe, feed
Yep,
him, or else
she
he won't
cracked.
eat."
And
She
that's
was
when we
like, "I'm
find
sorry,
out.
I dropped that dirty contract at your mom's door 2 minutes
Right,
ago."
the
She had no
wickedness.
remorse. She was like, "Yeah, it was me. Anyway,
Yeah,
feed my son because y'all cute together." I was like,
yeah,
"Wow, the 180,
just like it was very wicked for her to do
wicked
that to a
behavior."
sick woman. Like, come on. This lady is on dialysis, okay? And she needs that money for her dialysis.
Right? She don't need the shock. She don't need the
Yeah,
shock.
right. And then you would do that? Like, that is just so
So
low down.
low,
But
so
even though
low
she had a
for you to
change of
switch up
heart,
like this.
I don't like
This is
this
the
family.
same day switch up. Come on,
Yeah.
miss.
And this is, but I guess, sometimes, a mother
You
does
just need to see
not
your
want to
baby
see.
hurt. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But at the same time, like, now I see what this family is capable of doing. I don't really like this family. Like,
Oh, they could all choke. This
yeah,
whole family
like
can choke.
using your money and power to do
Mm-hmm.
something so wicked to people is insane to me. The only people in the family that I like is maybe May, the sister, which we're going to get into in a
Yeah,
little bit. We're going to get into her in a little
yeah.
bit.
We need more from her. Still needed more from her.
Yeah.
She
And
did her best, but
but she
yeah,
served her purpose, as we'll get to, because
yeah.
then we get to um Ming gets better. They get back to the house, and again, I told you Ming had a scheme, because the whole hospital thing was part one. Like, he was
Mm-hmm.
killing two birds with one stone. I don't even like
Oh
using
yeah.
that phrase, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what he was doing.
Two birds, one stone. Because now Ming's like, all right, Mike, fulfill the ends of that promise you made me. You know what to get. You know
And
what
he
to
got
get me.
all that tea on Tong and his
Yeah,
shady business
I thought
dealing.
it was gonna be about the dad, but yeah, he got the tea on Tong.
Didn't I tell you he had something for Tong? Didn't I tell
He
you?
did.
I
He
told you.
did.
I told you. I was like, look, we have to remember, Ming is good at scheming. Like, he had been doing it
But
a
Tong is
lot.
even better though. Tong always got
Tong is
one
not
up.
better. If Tong was
Tong
better, he
always
would
got
have
a
caught
backup
up.
to the backup.
Yeah, he would have had a backup to the backup. Tong is not better. Ming knows how to calculate. Okay? And see, this goes back to what I was saying in our last little special was, if Joe did not stop Ming from embarrassing Tong, Because look, if he did that, he wouldn't have had the leverage, right?
Girl, if he did that, none of this would have happened.
No, it's probably still would have happened
No,
because
because you
now
would
he
have
wouldn't
just
have
shut down.
leverage to be with Joe. You know what I'm saying?
No, this
He
is
wouldn't
different
have.
leverage though. The first that embarrassment would have just been that you're lying about not having a stand-in. This embarrassment is now you're using family assets to do shady business deals that are falling through.
But
That
look,
you go
now
bigger
you
in this family.
planted the seed in the family. Like, oh, what else is this dude lying about? Because
Girl, the
that's
way
a
the
big
dad did not
lie.
care. That family did not
At
care.
first he didn't care. At first he didn't care.
The dad was
Okay.
like, "It's paid off, mama.
At
It's
first
paid
he
off."
didn't care because later he did. But let's go into
Not
this
really.
first
He
conversation first.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out that May is pregnant. And
Yeah.
Tong is so low down. Like, why would you use your future child as leverage in a conversation while you out here
He's
accumulating debt and mess?
literally scrambling for any excuse. Scrambling. I was like, now 4 months is a long time to. I mean,
Right.
I guess if she just found out like a month ago, but why are you gonna reveal it on the mom's birthday?
I mean, that would have
Steal
been
her
cute,
spotlight on her
but
day. I
also
don't know.
like, I think the mom would have been fine with that. Be like, oh, I'm gonna have a grandchild.
I mean, she
But
switched
also,
up so
like,
fast right there too. She's so flip floppy. She was like, "All right, Ming, let's be nice. Let's talk nice."
Because you have a
like, what a
child
baby
coming
got to
up.
do with anything?
But you know what? May is a real one because she came out and said,
She said, literally.
no, you're not going to use my child for leverage in this. And then he going to
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, this is business. You made it her business the moment you mentioned she's pregnant. Okay?
Literally. What
Like,
the baby got to do
hello?
with you covering up your debt?
Right.
What that baby got to do with that?
Right.
What Ming's gay relationship got to do with our baby?
Right.
Nothing.
Got nothing
Literally
to do
nothing.
with nothing. So don't even try it. Like, and I love how, Maid was like, we're not going to do this. Like, and then, of course, Ming, I think this is where Ming really has proven himself to me when he chose Joe over the money.
Over the family money.
Over the family money. And now Joe, and pretty much Ming is essentially broke. Like,
Which is crazy. I'm still like, how is this dad able to do this? Like, Ming isn't under 18. Like, he's been working in the industry for a couple of years now. He has his own money.
yeah.
So how is the dad able to just be like, I'm taking your bank account? What? You don't own? You own my
Maybe
family bank account, but
maybe it's all a family account. Like he
maybe
had
it's
access
all, yeah,
to it.
his authorized user is all, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, but wow. And then next scene we get to Tong is like, I'm divorcing May. And at first I was like,
I screamed.
I
this
did
is where I
too.
screamed. I was like, damn, dropped her instantly.
because you're so damn petty. And in my head I'm like, oh, because she
I'm
stood
like,
up
you
for
never loved
her
this girl.
brother who is her family.
Literally,
And you
God
got
forbid.
mad? And then I realized that's not why he did it. He just used it as an excuse. Part
Yeah,
of
maybe
me
he
wants
did
to
love
say
her a little bit because
he likes her a
wanted
little
her
bit.
out the room before or was that a coincidence? Right?
No, I think he knew they were coming because
He knew
eventually
they were coming.
'cause
Didn't want her to be
remember-
involved with it, so it said, "Let's get a divorce so they don't go after you."
Because remember, Ming still didn't give him the money, so they were
Because he
still
flopped
chasing
that
him.
deal. He would have got the money if he
Right.
wasn't scheming.
Right, and now it got even worse because it's like now Ming don't even got money to give you.
Yo,
So,
literally, Tom, you would have had your money 2 weeks ago.
right, but now it's like they gave a deadline and he missed the deadline, so of course they were after him.
Yeah.
Child, them thugs, and that's why he said I'm sorry because he knew that he had to divorce her so then she wouldn't be liable, right?
Yeah,
Child,
yeah,
it's
maybe.
the thuggish ruggish bone.
Oh
You remember that
God.
song?
No.
You too young. That's from the
Maybe.
90s. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Look it up. Anyway.
I'm a 90s baby. Yeah. But on the Joe and Ming side, I love how they're just being cute in bed together. I'm like, how did we get here? Like, Joe, literally, like 2-3 weeks ago, you were screaming to Son and people were being like, I'll never forgive that man. Never forgive that man. And now you're here smiling like, we're really together. Yeah, we're really together.
Well, remember,
Wow.
Son called it. He's like, I knew, even though you said you weren't going to forgive him, I knew you were.
I knew you would, boy, because
Right.
the dick is bomb. I guess the dick too bomb.
Allegedly, it's making him sneeze.
I can't. I thought we were gonna wake up to a sneeze here. I can't. We had one episode of redemption, and
right.
that's it. That's all that's needed.
But you know what? This episode too, I think, had so far.
It's a little more of it. Yeah, it's more of it. Part
like,
2 of
now
it.
I'm like, dare I say, I actually like Ming in a weird way.
I see all this as just redemption. You still need to woo me back after this redemption. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
You're redeeming yourself for all the wrong that you've done, but you still have to, I don't know, show me that this is all worth it. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
is this really worth it? This is crazy.
Well, let's continue because I think there's a little bit more to say. Like,
yes.
So then, Joe is, doing his, practice
He's with
for
his stunt
stunting
girls,
or whatever.
yeah.
And Tong shows up and is like, all incognito, can you help me? And then you see, literally moments later,
yep, 2
we
guys
got the shark swimming
him.
for him already. And it's kind of
I knew what was gonna happen already. The moment I saw that he was wearing like a face mask and a hat, I knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
and they're both wearing black shirts. I knew what was gonna happen.
Oh, you knew they were gonna do the switch up.
Yep,
and I was kind of like,
it.
and in my head, I'm like, Joe, why are you helping this man?
Literally, I would have let him choke right there. I would have been like, damn, that's crazy.
That's the way
outside.
I felt too. I was like, you know what? It's fate that caught up with him. Let fate do its thing.
Wasn't yesterday you was
like, Joe is too damn nice, and that's
nice.
The issue. Too nice.
After everything Tong did for you, he's the one that got you killed. He's the one that ruined your career. He's the one that's ruining your life right now again.
Right, and he's
still
like,
gonna save him?
You're no longer his stand-in, and you're not on the clock to be his stand-in. Like, you're not on the clock. So why? Also, low-key, this kind of bothered me. Why is this mafia boss like Indian?
I have no idea, but they're speaking like
Thai,
a different Thai dialect or something.
Yeah, you know what? I want to kind of call the producers myself and be like, I got a problem because you got some darker skinned folk being mafia bosses, and
they love doing that. They every like hoodlum, every like gangster is like, they say we need actual dark skin like Thais here to do that.
Yeah,
so
and this one got a whole turban looking Sikh, and I'm like, Sikhs are pretty peaceful. They're not out here creating mess.
Well, this one's a mob boss.
But this one's a mob boss, so I don't know.
As he should be.
So,
get his bag. He needs to get his bag.
But yeah, from Tong, because luckily we don't like Tong, so whatever shady business dealings Tong has done, this is on him.
But of course they switch, and Joe gets taken instead because they look so similar from the back. You throw on a blue shirt and a hat, boom. And I knew they were gonna take in. And Joe's face when they took off that the bag over his head and his hair, he looked so crazy there.
Yeah, he looked shook.
he looked
okay,
shook.
I'm like, I don't know why you shook. You the one who decided to swap.
Literally,
like,
you knew this was gonna happen.
Right. So then we get back to the house, and Ming surprisingly
like,
Tom
all right, Dad.
and Mike are trying to negotiate with the dad to figure out, like, we need to get Joe out of this because Joe was actually
500 million baht, which
that's
is
a lot of money.
It's like $13 billion or something like that.
Yeah, 13 million
in US.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Like, how you get into that much debt?
Yeah, it's $13 million in USD, but it's 500,000
baht, 500 million baht or something like that.
Yeah, 500 million baht.
Yeah, how do you get yourself into that much debt?
Into $13 million of debt.
And then you can see the dad don't really like Tong that much either.
The dad don't give a fuck. He's like, I cleared the debt on the legal side, so any loan sharks you did on the side, that's on you.
Right. And then, but the part that was like, now I know the dad doesn't like Tong, was when he was like, when Tong was like, please save Joe because Joe did this not for me, but did it so I could see my nephew, see my son. Or see your nephew. And that's when the dad was like, so now you want to be a father.
This
Because
dad
you
did
can,
not care. He's like, we're gonna take that kid and we're gonna raise it ourselves. Like, Tong, you can
right.
die.
He's like, so now you want to be a father. Because I think the dad was already a little annoyed in the previous conversation that, like, you're using my child, my grandchild,
As leverage, yeah.
as leverage,
In this
which is
business
crazy to
deal.
me. And he probably already knew by this point that he filed for a divorce to his
I mean,
daughter. So it's
yeah, I
like
guess he
now,
doesn't
so now he's probably like, let's see, you use my grandchild as leverage,
use my
and then
daughter.
your
Use my
ass,
money. I use my
and you
money.
use my money, and now you're trying to divorce my daughter so then she can be a single mom. So it's like you're already bringing a lot of disgrace to my name already.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I don't really like this dude. Um, so then,
He's like, I'm not giving you all the money. So,
right.
Ming, do your own shit. And
So
Ming's like,
Ming
bet.
somehow gets 10 million. I don't know where he probably got that
He
from
said he
his
got it from the
brother.
mom. He said the mom
Oh, the
gave me
mom. Yeah,
the
that's
mom
right.
gave
That's
me
right.
10 million, and if you take, all right, so yeah, they go to the house, and he's like, I only have 10 million. Switch me with Joe for
Mm-hmm.
this 10 million, and then if you keep me, you'll be able to get more money from my mom eventually, like just as holding me. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, all right, deal. And then woo
Right.
woo,
Then the police come, the
who called
popo,
the
sirens.
cops?
Who called the cops? And probably,
And they're
we're
like, it's
assuming
probably
the
the mom.
mama. Probably
I'm
the
like, why would
mom.
she light up that place like they ain't gonna shoot up her son?
Right. And then
Dumb.
all chaos breaks loose, of course. Because
All
as
chaos
we
breaks
know,
loose.
at
Yeah.
least from a U.S. perspective, when you call the police, they're
Someone
not
getting
really there to
shot.
solve stuff. Somebody getting shot. It's going to be a mess.
The police are
And,
there to just count bodies because they don't do anything.
right. And of course, Joe, still being the good guy, tries to protect Ming from getting shot and gets bullets in his back, which I knew was going to happen.
I knew it
But
was
I
gonna
did not want
happen.
him to get shot. And then he ends up in the hospital.
Girl, he ends up
And,
deceased.
well,
We end up
is
in
he?
this limbo state where
Again.
the shaman, the like spiritual master, main spiritual master, is here to be like, I'm showing you through my mind's eye where you are right now. You're in limbo. Heaven made the choice for you before to put you in this new body, but you have the choice now whether to try again for the third time or to just walk into the light and move on.
Right. And it looks like he
At
walked
first, I thought he
into
was
the
gonna
light.
stay.
Yeah,
He
because
did walk into the light in the end. I
yeah,
thought he was gonna stay.
I think
I thought he was gonna be like, "Girl, fuck it. We did it twice before. Let's see what happens the third time."
the issue is
He was just tired.
Joe has been a stand-in. Like he came back again and standing in for somebody else. Like he not
He
even in his own
died
body.
the first time as a stand-in, and the second time he died as a stand-in.
Right.
So
Like
it's a
it's like you
cursed
keep
position.
continue being a stand-in when
It's a
instead,
cycle.
yeah, like you got to live your own life, and it doesn't seem like he's going to have that option unless he's reincarnated. Because remember, this is a Buddhist show, okay? So he needs to step into the light and then come back as something else. You know,
Hopefully,
that's
all
his
this
own
good
thing.
karma from saving lives.
Right. I hope
Get
he
you
gets a lot of good
better
karma.
life.
Yeah, he been saving lives and you know being just really good. So we got a lot of stuff that's gonna happen in this next episode for sure, and
The
it's the
finale.
last
I can't believe
one.
we're at the finale now.
I'm hoping it's an hour and a half long.
I really hope. I really like. What do you think is gonna happen in this finale? You think we're gonna
Um,
get some Joe number 2 backstory? Are we going to go all the way back to the beginning of the show? Is it gonna do some kind of time reset? Are we doing a
I
flash
think
forward?
we're going to get a new Joe backstory, Winter Joe, as some people have been
Winter
calling him
Joe.
because it's being played by Winter. I think we're gonna get more backstory, which means maybe Tarn might come back because hey, if there's gonna be a funeral, I think certain people are gonna show up, and maybe Tarn this
Yeah.
time will actually be present, even though it's too late. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then
I
you think
think-
Joe's coming back as original body Joe or a third Joe?
I think Joe is going to come back as somebody else. It may not.
And it's
may
gonna
not
be a
even have
kind
that
of-
name. Yeah.
And it's gonna be like another meet cute. They're gonna walk by each other, and he's gonna be like, "You look familiar."
I think it's
it's
going
gonna
to
be
be
Joe
similar to. Did you ever see? Oh gosh, what is this? I'm trying to remember the name. It's a doctor one.
Yes,
Doctor.
yes.
I'm
Dear Doctor,
calling
I'm
for.
coming for Soul.
Yes, I
Oh,
think it's gonna
I
be like
cried so
that.
much to that.
I think he's gonna. I think Joe is gonna come back. You know what would be messy? I hope they don't do this because this would be so messy.
Well, he
What
comes back as a
if?
Grim Reaper in that show? Because that's
No,
what
no,
that
no,
show
no,
was
no,
about.
no, not that. What if Joe comes back as Ming's nephew?
Stop! Why knew you were gonna say that? He comes back as the fucking baby.
Yes.
And Ming is holding the baby, and Ming's like, Joe, cut to black.
I would scream.
Gag.
I would scream.
The ratings going down. The ratings going down.
I would scream. Like
then there's no more love story unless we're gonna do some creepy letter memory in the letter shit where he's like, I've known you since you were a baby. I've been waiting for you.
And see, even that, because
that was Cradle Robin right
creepy.
There. That's still creepy. That's so creepy.
This would be.
Oh, but this also like
creepy.
Incest because that's your nephew.
Yeah, because this is the other one didn't involve incest, and technically
that's still weird.
It was weird, but at least they did meet at the same age in different dimensions. But this one, it's like.
That's your nephew.
That would be so gross. I would be like,
no, but they're
ew.
if they don't do like a happy ending, they for sure are gonna name this Baby Joe. May's gonna be like, I'm gonna call him Joe.
Yeah. And I don't think I hope they don't do this, because if it is gonna be a sad ending, I think Ming may not survive. I think Ming might unalive himself.
And then they're gonna go both reincarnate and both see each other again in some next life.
Mm-hmm. That might be what it would be, because I don't think Ming can mentally, physically, and emotionally go through this a second time. Yeah, I don't think he can.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna do like he's gonna come back as a third Joe, and he's not gonna remember anything. And they're gonna like start fresh.
Well, if he's going through the light, he's not gonna go through the cycle again. That's why I don't think he's gonna come back as another Joe. He's gonna come back as somebody else.
Well, he's gonna come back and like not remember anything, but he's gonna be a different person.
Right. I think that would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, like he's still gonna be with Ming, but Ming's gonna know who he is, but he's not gonna know who he is.
Right. And Ming is gonna have to start all over from scratch, or Ming might unalive himself, and then
that's so dark. They're not gonna do that.
Considering how dark some things have been so far, can we talk about Ming chaining Joe to stuff?
Girl, I'm still there. We have yet to have a moment where Joe's like, "I forgive you." None of that.
Yeah.
No forgiveness happened. We're just riding.
Yeah. Anywho, we gotta go.
Anywho.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But anyway, thank y'all again for listening. Be safe. And remember, live your life. Life is short. Like it was for Joe. Oops. Anyway.
Ooh. Both times. Anyway, hope that Joe in your life jumps in front of a bullet for your knee. So.
Yeah. That's a good one. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Stay tuned for episode 12.